Hi everyone, welcome back to this week's episode of Monday Mensaje or Monday Message, our weekly energy forecast. Happy Valentine's Day. I want to remind you, not only a day to express your love for those around you, but also a really important day to express to yourself how much you love you. So we're starting off strong with food for thought there. Great day to pamper yourself, self-care. No matter whenever you're listening to this, do something kind for yourself. Give yourself some grace, okay? So let's get into it. Quick funny story before we get going. I never, and I want to repeat, I never put cards back in the deck after I pull one, right? I don't know why. Today I did that. I pulled the devil. Okay. That is, big reveal. That's our weekly energy forecast card, right? And I pulled that card about a month ago. I went back to check the date. And so I reshuffled and I said, if that's really the message that we're supposed to get, again, let it come back out. And then if not, send us a really, really clear message and sign of what does need to be paid attention to this week, right? You already know. Okay, I pulled the devil again. This is why I don't put cards back in the deck. They will just come out again anyway. But you know what? This message is differing in a lot of ways from that previous message. So I guess let's just get into it. If you have been with us, you might remember that episode. Like I said, that was from January 10th. If you want to go sort of take a re-listen to that. And that was a juicy one, I have to say. We were talking about reflecting. We were talking about reevaluating not only things within us, right? Like self-limiting beliefs, self-doubt, confidence, and sort of like reworking who we want to be, what kind of mental state we want to be in. We were also trying to reevaluate our external identity. How do we show up in the world? How do we communicate with others? How do we present ourselves to others, right? And not only that, we were also talking about releasing things that no longer serve us. Releasing things like the way you view the world, old trauma, lots of things. Like I said, major juicy episode. Go check it out if you're curious. So if you're new here and you weren't here for that, welcome, first of all. And second of all, you might already be on your own growth journey, your self-love journey, your spiritual awakening. So you're probably right on track if you are listening to this. And then those of you that have been with me since then, this is a time for all of us, whether you're new here or not, to reevaluate where you are in reference to where you wanted to be. So think about where you were about a month ago. You might have been doing a lot of reevaluation. It was the beginning of the year. I feel like that's like the standard time that everyone sort of looks inward, checks in with themselves, and kind of pinpoints the things that they want to expand this year, and the ways that they want to evolve, right? So the major energy that I got when I first saw this is, are you doing the things that you said you're going to do? Honestly, it's that simple. And this is a reminder. What's funny is when I pulled the devil, it was actually the same deck that I'm using today. And I usually switch up the decks. So same exact imagery there. And I just want to point out that I'm using the Dolly Tarot, and Dolly's interpretations and the way that he arranges the imagery of the cards is totally different than the Rider-Waite deck. So that traditional imagery that you're used to seeing is not here. And that really was the basis of how I received these messages. So head to my Instagram if you want to be able to see what the card actually looks like, because that's really going to help you with a lot of the interpretations I'm going to be explaining. All right, back to the message. So again, this is this idea of are we doing what we said we were going to do? It's really easy to commit to this big change and evolution. And then when you have to face these changes on the day-to-day, it can be way harder than we anticipated, right? I'm going to take one example, and that's the crazy thing. In that episode, we talked about so much, and so many of us are reworking our inner identity, our external identity, our relationships with others, our relationship with the way we view the world, our relationship with the universe, and so on, right? So one small example of this could be, okay, I am going to release self-limiting beliefs. Those do not serve me anymore in this stage of my journey, right? And that's things like self-doubt, a lack of confidence in yourself, second guessing your intuition, second guessing the signs around you, right? Challenging yourself with the thoughts of, am I good enough for this? Do I deserve this? Can I accomplish this? Instead of turning that around, doing a 180 and saying, you know what? It's time for me to believe in myself. It's time for me to get up, leave that victim mindset behind, and say, I can accomplish all that I put my mind to. It's saying, I have all that I need within me, right? And so something so simple like trying to rid yourself of self-limiting beliefs that don't serve you seems on paper like, okay, that's a reasonable thing that I could accomplish in this year. But I'm telling you, it's the way it shows up in your everyday life that can sort of point to bigger challenges. And then you're sitting there saying, man, maybe this whole growth thing isn't like as easy as I thought it was going to be, right? And so I think that was really what it was drawing my attention to. Like, we say we're going to change, we say we're going to evolve, we say we're going to love ourselves, value ourselves, and treat ourselves accordingly. But are you doing that? So this is a major check-in period for you. About a month later, the universe is saying, are you actually implementing the changes that you said you were going to make? Because this is a reminder, nothing changes if nothing changes. I know that sounds obvious, but if you keep responding to old scenarios and situations in the same way you always used to, nothing's going to change. If you keep following the same path that you always do, because it is the path that you're comfortable with, that you're familiar with, right? Maybe it's the easier road, then nothing's going to change. So I want to also really, really make sure I emphasize that these changes we're calling into our lives, these deep internal and external changes, are not going to happen overnight. So this is not a message that says, oh, well, what have you completed so far? No, it's more like, hey, checking in. Are you still on track? Because life gets busy, shit gets crazy, life gets stressful, and then it's like, ooh, maybe I am not focusing on my spiritual journey and loving myself and healing my trauma as much as I said I was going to. And I want you to forgive yourself for that. I want you to give yourself some grace. This isn't like a pressure check-in. This is just to bring to your attention, hey, before you take on even more in your life, let's make sure we're on track with where we already wanted to be. So that was like the big message that I got checking my notes. For those that are new here, I do the polls. I write down notes because sometimes my downloads come in so fast and I just don't want to miss anything. And then I start recording. So if you hear me pausing, it's just me taking a look at my notes. Okay, next thing. So in this depiction Dolly has of the devil card, it is this devil figure, and he's leaping off of what looks like a cliff, right? But it's a shockingly not such an ominous image, right? He has this, I don't know what to call it. It seems like a wand or a staff, and it is, at the end of it, has this enormous butterfly attached to it. And it's sort of like he's taking this leap. He has this incredible butterfly staff with him. And that really made me think of, again, transformation. Butterflies spiritually symbolize major transformation, just like actual butterflies. You know, they have the confidence to take that leap of faith and say, you know what, I'm a caterpillar, I'm following my instincts, I'm building my cocoon. I give myself grace, I give myself time to transform. I give myself time to explore my inner world, and then I emerge renewed. Then I emerge rebirthed into this incredible version of myself that perhaps the caterpillar did not even think possible, right? And those are other themes. So it really goes along with this check-in thing that I'm talking about. It's like, hey, that's what you wanted. You want to emerge into this beautiful best version of you, not for anybody else, but for yourself, right? And so keep transforming. And the message specifically, I had a specific phrase come into my head. Let me see if I wrote it down. It's sort of this idea of Will you do it anyway? It's like this huge leap, and the fear is always going to linger. So many people are waiting for the fear to be gone to move forward in life. And I'm so sorry if you haven't realized this already. I'm sorry to be the one to say it, but it needs to be said. The fear is never fully 100% going to go away. It's just not. The fear is always going to linger there, even if it's 1% in the back of your mind, buried, it's going to be there. And so it's this idea of, are you going to do it anyway? Real courage takes fighting against the fear. It takes really reevaluating in your mind, like, I know that my brain, right, is sending me these fear signals, but those are based on other things, not based on reality. So you need to move past the fear and do the damn thing anyway, grow in spite of it, progress in spite of this fear. If you're waiting for you to never be scared to take the next step, whether that's in love, in career, in your spiritual awakening, in your self-love journey, then I'm telling you, you're not going to move very far. So that was like another one of those big messages that came through for that. This is not, oh yes, here we go. This is not the time to revert back to old ways, old habits, old thought patterns, and more, right? When we start progressing, and again, reminder, progress is not linear. There are days where you are really showing up as your most evolved self. And you know what? There are other days where shit gets crazy. You're not feeling your best. You're burnt out and you're not where you were a couple days ago. And that's okay. Give yourself grace for that. You're not going to always be running on 10 out of 10 every day. But when things do get challenging, when problems do arise, when you are faced with the exact lessons that you're trying to heal, it's not the time to revert back to old ways, right? Like if you catch yourself doing that, give yourself grace. Say, okay, I realize and I recognize that I'm falling back into an old pattern of sorts, and I'm going to take the recognition of that and I'm going to build upon it and say, I now am consciously aware of what I'm doing, of the fact that I am slipping back to old things. So I am going to consciously decide not to do that, right? So this is not the time. Shed your old self for real. This isn't just saying you're going to do it. It's really doing it. Let me see what else. Oh, yes. That was the other main quote. I have it like in capital letters here. So with this depiction of the devil, he is about to leap off of a cliff. He has this butterfly, right? And in the corner of the card are these hands. These hands are not attached to anything, and they are sort of giving him the push. And when I saw those hands, I immediately thought of the universe, right? And so it's this literal depiction of the universe pushing you. The universe saying, hey, are you going to do the things that you said that you're going to do? Let's see. Let's figure it out. It's time to fly. So yeah, the devil might be afraid that he's going to fall to his death at the bottom of this cliff, right? But he has courage. He has courage, and he has faith in the fact that he is going to fly. He has faith in the fact that he can do it. And I'm telling you, this is your time to fly. And when I thought of that, I thought about the astrological time that we're in right now. Like I said it last week, but if you weren't with us, all planets are direct right now, so there's no retrograding. So many planets were in retrograde, which is why we were reevaluating so many things. And so we're coming out of that period now. All planets are direct. I believe we're out of the shadow period for Mercury and Venus retrograde. And all planets will be direct till April 29th. And so when I thought of this quote, or when the download popped in my brain, I heard it's time to fly. I'm thinking, right, because the universe is going to push you and test you at a time where astrologically it's going to be compatible. So if there was ever a time, simplifying what I'm saying here, what I'm trying to say is that if there was ever a time to trust in the universe, if there was ever a time to have faith in the universe, in the synchronicities around you, in the signs you're receiving, in your intuition, it is now. This is the time. Reminder, if you're thinking of starting something, career, passion project, and again, this transformation, this is a beautiful time to do it because astrologically, you're not going to have many blocks. And so I think this is a really sweet message from the universe that's sort of like, hey, it's safe. It is safe in this window to go full speed ahead into being the person you want to be, creating the life that you want for yourself. And so, yeah, I mean, pretty strong message. Another thing that came up when we're talking about the devil, first of all, I think it was interesting. Devil is a representative of Capricorn. So that was Capricorn season when we did pull that message, the very end of it. Last things that came up, leaning into your sensual side, right? So there's so much duality involved in the devil card, El Diablo. And while there's so many, I guess let's say strong messages that come across, right? There are so many beautiful interpretations of the devil. When I think of the devil card, the positive sides of it are tapping into your sexuality, tapping into your creativity, tapping into your passion. And like I said, because this is a safe time astrologically to trust what happens in the universe, let those things take center stage for a while. Let those things take center stage. Lean into your sexuality, your creativity, your passion. Make more time for that. Make more time to slow down so you can be in your body, so you can have the energy to be creative, to be sexual, right? So this can also be a week of like intense romantic and sexual connections. I mean, it's Valentine's Day, so maybe that's why I'm feeling that energy, but that is also a huge part of what came up. So it's like, as you're healing yourself, as you are connecting with yourself, don't forget to connect with your body and your sensuality. Huge message there. So be a little dreamy, let yourself wander, don't be afraid to daydream. The last message that came through was maybe some of that dreaminess, some of that daydreaming is going to lead you to sort of dream up some new perspectives on old situations, dream up some ways that you can pivot, right? And when we slow down and we relax our minds, sometimes those messages, those signals from within us in our intuition, but also from our ancestors, spirit guides in the universe, that is when they're able to come through, right? So slow down a little bit this week. I know all planets are direct, so some of you out there, I'm talking to you earth signs, might be thinking, okay, go, 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 go. No, that is not how we're doing this year. That is not very 5D. Okay, 5D is all about easing into things, flowing into things. And so I want to remind you that everything will get done as it's meant to, in the time that it's meant to. Trust in divine right timing, especially right now. Okay, and in just a moment, I am actually going to pull some cards for the signs. Each of these cards is an affirmation that might help you heal. So you can repeat this affirmation to yourself throughout this week, and obviously beyond that. Affirmations are one of my most favorite techniques to rewire my brain from thinking anxiously, negatively, and build healthier neural pathways. You know, your brain's going to go down the same route it normally does because that's what it's used to. But if you give it more positive, different paths to go down, and you stick with it and you're consistent and you allow yourself to consciously think these good thoughts that are going to be beneficial to you, they really start to make changes in your life. So that's just a little spiel if you're not familiar with affirmations. I am going to be using a deck called the Moon Deck, created by beautiful women inside and out. And I figured we got to use the Moon Deck because it's the full moon this week. I believe it's Wednesday. I believe it's in Leo. So you might be feeling that kind of energy too. I know. Whoop. This is me being clumsy and dropping my phone. All right. So let me get this deck going. I pre-shuffled. I have my order here. And all right, let's get going. So first up, we have Aquarius. Your message, Aquarius, is I forgive and let go with loving ease. I forgive and let go with loving ease. I love that for you. Don't hold on to anything. Let yourself flow. Rid yourself of that baggage. You know what I mean? There's no reason to hold on to it. I love that. Pisces, I am the weaver of my reality. Oh, I love that card. It's one of my favorite in the deck. Pisces, don't forget, you are consciously, hopefully consciously, creating the life of your dreams around you. Nothing is off limits. There are no limits for you. So once you start owning your power and realizing that you can really have a life that you're excited to wake up to every day, you might be more motivated to consciously make decisions that help you do that faster, So it's a good time to think, what do I want? What do I want my reality to be? I love that. Aries, I am on the right path and divinely guided. I love that, Aries. If you have been questioning what's going on in your life, and I feel like I did pull some challenging cards for Aries last week. Don't quote me on that, but so if you've been needing a message that things are going to work out and you're on the right path, this is it. I love that for you. Taurus, now is the time to integrate all that I have gathered. That really goes along with this week's message anyway. It's that idea of I've been working on myself so much. I've been reevaluating things. I've dove deep into the knowledge that I wanted to acquire. I've learned about myself and about the world around me. And now it's time to actually take that step forward into your new life with your new self, with all that you've gained on this journey so far. That's really exciting. I love that. Okay, Gemini. My emotions move through cycles and connect me to my truth. This is your time to embrace how you're feeling, Gemini. Have you been checking in with your emotions? If not, this is a sign that you might want to do that. How are you feeling? And this also, too, whenever I get this card, it reminds me that we're not going to always feel great. Life as a whole could be great for you. It doesn't mean that you're going to have a happy, perfect day every day. So give yourself grace. Just because you have a bad day or a bad experience does not mean that you have a bad life. And the more that you tap into what you're really feeling, the more that you're going to be able to move forward with clarity instead of bottling everything up and then allowing things to explode. Cancer, I craft my core desires with certainty and ease. Wow, Cancer, this is powerful. This is talking similarly about what Pisces message. I craft my core desires with certainty and ease. So again, check in with yourself. What is it that you really want? What do you really want to call into your life? Because I'm telling you, you have the opportunity to do that. So make sure that you are, one, confident in yourself, because this is the literal sign that your abilities are potent right now. And two, make sure that you're going after the right thing. You wouldn't want to call something into your life and then realize, oof, that's not really what I wanted. I love that. That's beautiful. We're getting some great messages this week. I'm trying to move quickly. All right, so keep going. Leo, proper rest helps me feel and look my best. That's a pretty straightforward message, Leo. Have you been going like I was talking about earlier? Slow down. Just like I said, this is the time to rest. When you take a moment to recharge, know that that moment that you're recharging is productive. It is productive to rest. Rest is not a reward. Rest is something that our body, mind, and spirit all need. Do not feel guilty about it. Rest, recharge, because you're going to emerge more ready than ever to go out there and accomplish everything that you're seeking to. Virgo, collaboration brings more sweetness into my life and into the world. If you've been feeling a little bit hermity, Virgo, this is your sign. Get yourself out there. Put yourself out there. This is a sign that maybe you need a little bit of community in your life. Maybe you need to expand your social circle. Maybe you need to expand career-wise and do like some sort of collaboration in your field. I don't know what that would be for you, but I'm sure that you know. That sounds very much like you though, Virgo. Maybe not necessarily the collaboration part, but doing anything that's going to help you in your business. So or your professional career. So this is a sign to that collaboration. This is also too what's coming up for me right now is Virgo, you need community to heal. You cannot heal yourself all on your own. So reach out to family and friends, allow them to be of service to you, just like you are of service to everybody else. People love you. So don't forget that. Okay, Libra. My community is supportive, loving, and active in the world. That's so funny. Such a similar message there. But you know what, Libra, this tells me same kind of vibes. Maybe you've already been sort of bringing in this idea of community into your life. To me, this doesn't seem new. And Libra, what do they say? Stereotypically, not all, but stereotypically, Libras are very social. So this does not surprise me. If you've been looking for more community, Libra, it's on the way. You're going to find your people. You are going to find your people. And this is a reminder from a couple episodes ago. In order to find the people that you really want to attract into your life, you have to be your authentic self. So keep showing the real you to people, because then they're going to be able to recognize, like, wow, that's someone I want in my life. That's someone that I want to be around. And community is beautiful. Community is healing, and it is a source of love, and we all need that. Scorpio, with a steady mind, I am connected to our collective experience. That is powerful. So Scorpio, this is a time that you want to clear your mind. Find ways that you can bring more peace into your life and see things with clarity, because you might have a higher purpose to serve, Scorpio. This could be a week that calls you to sort of be tapped into others around you, what they're going through. Maybe somebody needs, a listening ear or someone supportive in their life. So maybe you are going to be that person for someone. I love that. And honestly, all the Scorpios I know are so honest. Maybe somebody needs you to just honestly tell them about something in their life. That's what I'm thinking of right now. All right, Sagittarius. I am courageous, steady, and strong. I love this message. Sagittarius, whatever you've been going through, don't forget your courage. Don't forget how strong you are. Don't forget to have a level head. Emphasis there. You don't have to get too fiery. You can have a quiet strength. Courage is facing the fears head on. Courage doesn't need to be loud, but it needs to be confident. So if you've been struggling, this is the sign that you got it. You got everything you need within you, and keep shining your light. Capricorn, last but never least, I welcome clear vision and inspired action. First thing that's coming up for Capricorn right now with me is clear vision. This idea of clear vision means you need to see things clearly. Can you see things clearly if you are anxious, not in a great mental state, right? So put yourself first, nourish yourself in the way that you need to be nourished, and then the clarity is going to come, into your life. So find your way to clear your mind. And you know what? That's where it's talking about inspired action. Once you have that clear mind, the next steps that may have seemed a little foggy are going to become clear. You don't want to make action based off of misconceptions that might be rolling around in your mind. So take the time to chill out and maybe receive some messages from the universe and your guides, as well as your intuition, which, as a reminder, will never steer you in the wrong direction. Okay, so that was a great episode. Thank you, everyone, so much for being here. For those who do tip me, thank you so much. The link for my tip jar is down below. I'm honestly just excited here to go on this journey with you, to share parts of my own journey, and to help anybody who does benefit from these messages. So give this video a thumbs up if you resonated with anything in here, and I hope everyone has a phenomenal week ahead. Bye, everyone.